And welcome back to Crackdown, everyone on the Sandbox Jukebox.
hmm
Once again, we died miserably in the last attempt on this playthrough, and now we've had to shuffle our deck again. And considering I made a terrible attempt of explosives last time I was playing through, thought I'd get an expert on to help us with that. So, Nordy, how's it going, buddy?
Oh no. So what the hell am I looking at here?
Well, have you heard of a really hot, exciting game that all the kids are playing called Grand Theft Auto? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
have you heard of that exciting game?
Your basic physical strength is such that you can lift
Because
objects weighing around
shockingly enough,
200
so did
pounds.
everyone on the
Throw them
Xbox
roughly
here
100
know about this as
feet.
well. So they
Yeah.
decided to make their own one with blackjack and hookers, except they forgot the programming in the blackjack and
That was
hookers.
all the rage back in the day. So wait, what year is this from?
Uh, let's see. This would have been around the same year as San Andreas. So I think okay, the first release was 2007.
Okay. Yeah, that was around the time like everyone was getting big into it. Like you had, was it Grand Theft Auto versus Drive 3R was the one of the big fights.
But that would have been that would have been well before this actually, because this game was stuck in a bit of within a bit of developmental hell, as it were. But this would have been, if you wanted a point of comparison for sandbox games, this would have come out around the same time as. There's not really a lot of there's not really actually a lot of sandbox games in this little window of time for some reason.
This seems
Although,
a lot smoother than the likes of your San Andreas's.
yeah, because this would have predated it a little bit. So this would have been around on the same year as Spider-Man 3. There we go. That's probably the best comparison. Or The Darkness, if you count that as a sandbox game. Some people don't. So, but essentially it's the same premise as Grand Theft Auto 2. So you've got like a generic American city full of like ethnic gangs. You're a super policeman that has cyborg powers, and you want to try and rid the city of all these hideous foreigners that are ruining your beautiful town.
Okay,
Um,
basically.
Essentially, yeah. This is a Florida simulator, actually. So basically, as we jump in at this stage of the playthrough, James, we have already cleaned out the first area of Pacific City, which is not based on any specific city. We appreciate that wordplay. It's definitely based off Los Angeles. But we are now into what will be the second area, which is the Docklands, if you will, and that's
Okay.
taken over by the token Eastern European gang called
Enemies
Volk,
right above, Agent.
which, as you know, is foreign for people. But their gimmick is that they have a lot of people and a lot of weapons and a lot of explosions.
Okay, so it's
Because
basically the Vladimir Putin of wave after wave of people.
yeah, it's essentially whatever the like Branikovsky's law, I guess, if you want to call it that. But yeah, so like I like the premise doesn't really change throughout the game. Like you like have gangs, they have a head honcho, then you have sub commanders, and then you have other important people. And
Okay.
essentially,
And the idea is
you're
you kill your whale.
pretty much yeah.
Okay.
While also upgrading your character to have better strength and shooting skill and explosives and all that jazz. So essentially, in the process of you clearing out the gangs, you're supposed to improve, while also doing a bit of like side content at the same time, like a bit of parkour or driving and stuff like this.
Physical strength is evolving in line with
So,
our projections.
as you just saw there, are the strength bar just increased on us there, which meant now we have actually an extra length of health. So
Okay. Grand.
that's what's happened there.
Again, given how much of a beast you are, it is weird to see you driving around a little shit heap of a car.
Well, like I said, this is because we are in we're in Eastern European land, so therefore all the cars are like symbols of Soviet brutality.
Close.
I mean, down just exploded in my hands here. Like that's just ridiculous, you know.
Okay, so largely, what is our plot here? Are we trying to get any particular like a capo or any particular gang boss or
Yeah. So I was actually
are we
I was giving out somebody there. Well, I was giving out somebody at the previous recording, and then kind of hit a bit of a brick wall because there were literally too many people. So he's kind of located on this tanker here, and the game will kind of tell you have certain odds to get rid of this person here, and the odds were like, weirdly good when like there's clearly so many people around this area, all shooting at you with these same fucking like machine guns essentially. That like there's a lot going on.
I agree with that, lad. Nitroglycerin all the way.
What do you call that?
As you can see, it's a bit of a tricky assignment, but there was an actual as it were an actual way around it, which I think we're going to see now momentarily. So this guy is located on the tanker. He's one of the kind of like the lieutenants of this bulk area. And again, the whole idea is that the more you whittle down the lieutenants and the mini bosses, the big boss becomes easier to kill because he doesn't have more choice. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
so there might be less people in his fortress, or less weapons or cars, as the previous one was.
Yeah.
And that's essentially it, really. So that's the plot. Like there actually isn't that much plot to it. It is literally just like find the boss on the map, and you get your intel, you get your kind of little, I won't say clues. Clues is the wrong word to use there, but you get your kind of fact file on them, what they're useful for, what they're infamous for, and essentially you just go from there, really. And that's basically it. It's just a bit of like sandbox mayhem essentially, and this will probably count as one of the levels. Basically, every boss is a level to a certain extent, and then all the, as it were, the sandboxy missions are your stuff like, okay, here's like an obstacle course to improve your athletic skill, and here's a race to improve your driving skill, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other bars on the side there would be your physical, your strength, your explosive skill, and your shooting. And they basically improve the more you like.
I like
destroy.
how you there.
Well, he had lovely form of the pirouette, didn't he?
He absolutely did.
That was close.
Like I have to say, like and I wouldn't mind. He just didn't really stick the landing.
Oh well, no, he definitely landed, but
yeah, landed is an interesting interpretation of what happened there. I would prefer to call it something else.
Landing is a guarantee. How well you land is
very true. But so yeah, this level is a pain in the hole, to say the least. It is. But then yeah, I think some of them are just like that's just the way they are designed, because who knew that putting like rocket guys on this and then having 4 people spawn around the corner, every corner, would be somehow difficult. Who knew? But alas, there is a way around it.
Things just choked up a little for me there, so I'm throwing the video off for now.
That's okay. So yeah, turns out if I just
going on top is probably the way to go here then.
Yeah, it looks like it, because then you're able to cut out half the stuff that you need to do.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because in the first half of the level, you have to actually kind of pull a lever to get onto the ship. So it seems like you don't even have to bother to do that, because the boxes here, the crates, literally lead you to the big boss, which is actually quite convenient. And those agility orbs there, what I mentioned earlier on, were like basically this is your exploration bonus. The more you collect these, the more your skills improve.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a mystery orb there, which is basically a potluck. You can get like any random assortment of skills from it.
And, so that gives you more driving by the looks of it?
Anything. It includes all 5, yeah. And as you can see,
grenade.
Yeah. Well,
run into the bullets.
It's so much easier though. Man, let's be fair here.
Yeah. But
yes, that's where he was hiding the whole time. So now we know where to find them. Now, this is the way that when an agent dies like this, like they kind of make a point of we have this wonderful regenerative ability. So, when the agent dies, it's not necessarily a game over and the level resets. So if you're quick about it, the game doesn't necessarily put everyone back in their place before you come back. So you could basically like disturb the hornet's nest for a little bit, then
it
come back.
chase you off in the wrong direction, go back, and you have a clear path The boss.
Yeah, a little bit. I think no, like within reason, obviously, because there's respawns and there's all this sort of shit going on as well. But broadly speaking, that's accurate.
Oh, you
It
should have
doesn't
jumped.
help that like the jump button doesn't necessarily work half the time, which is quite frustrating.
Okay. Up we go.
But bear in mind as well, like if I was going like by ground, like it happened all the other previous attempts,
Yeah.
there would be a substantially larger number of people spawning because I'm going that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Ragdoll.
yep,
That is one
Yeah,
thing I'd say I love about this genre. Is like the ragdolls can be very funny.
yeah. The ragdoll physics is certainly one of the selling points of the game, but it's also in that case they're quite annoying because, like, I wanted to land on that platform. Now I'm not allowed. I'm banned from it. You know, because of a rocket to the face.
I mean, if you're going to park your car down there that long, your ass can be bombed.
It would be a very different.
Belfast. If your car, if you exceed the parking meter, then you're asking for a buddy.
Yeah, it's very different in Belfast, isn't it? Like, I don't know. I feel like the traffic wardens, I think, are taking this thing a little bit too far. Just personally, I just prefer the way the South does it. You know. Although I suppose it would make the job a little bit more enticing, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know,
Um,
like all those Republicans need to be, you know, re-skilled somehow. You know.
I mean, reskilled. Don't need any more skills.
Well, I mean, like, you know,
We've reached perfection.
you're right. Absolutely, there's no. I see no room for improvement here.
Ooh, well done, like getting from that far away.
Yeah, like I said, and these kind of long range shots is it helps you improve your shooting skill as well. So, like after a while, you would be able to do these kind of, as it were, trick shots from quite a long way away. Now, the gun I have here, for example, isn't the only gun I have at my disposal. You do you can pick up weapons from the gangs here and use them,
Yeah.
but you have to bring them back to your base. That's the only catch. Eventually, I'll catch this guy. So another part of the gameplay as well, which has already been done by the time we get to it, is that the agency has little kind of safe houses around the area. So usually, when you get to one on the map, it's typically under siege. So once you basically rescue it, you can use it to yourself. And as I said, any guns and stuff like that you bring back to base, you can use yourself.
There we go.
There we go. Fuck you in particular.
Fuck you, Boris.
Fresh agency in
No.
Oh, hey, that was the title of my podcast.
Name it.
Boris Mikhailov took his secret to the grave. Now no one will ever know how.
Yep,
he
that's a
managed to bring
generic
so
looking
many
Eastern European
immigrants
gangster
into
right there.
the city
Absolutely.
without being detected. We do know that the replacement of skilled workers is proving problematic, and new Volk recruits are negligible.
Okay.
Can you really call them recruits when they're refugees?
Recalculating your
Like,
chances of
it
success
seems like you're not really
will
giving
be
them
the
much of a
kingpin.
choice.
One man's refugee.
Is another man's recruit. Yeah, I get it. It's a Tory campaign. I understand that. But still, like, it's still a bit unnecessary in my view. You know, couldn't they not just try leaflets instead? You know?
And say what?
Join us, we're evil. You get a free gun.
I mean, they didn't even offer the Russians that much.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, so
Boing.
I don't think he boings.
No, he has a bit of a thud, really.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well done. Run into the grenades.
They were panicking. They just realized that the human trafficker has died and they don't know what to do next. They don't have their passports. So I solved their problem by killing them. See, it's pretty simple, James. Simple maths.
So is there any plot as to why you're a cyborg doing this?
Not really. Well, the game background basically establishes that crime has gone out of control. So all the world's police united to form the agency, as Mr. fucking over the top voiceover says. And in order to keep up with all the bosses essentially having way too many guns and way too much supplies, they basically went into cyberization and human augments and all this other shit. And I fell over.
Crazy?
Okay. So it's not like I had kind of assumed going into this that it was going to be like a RoboCop kind of thing, where
it's totally on the RoboCop territory. To be fair, there's a bit of crossover, except that our kind of agency guy here is just a complete nobody. Like he just there's nothing to him essentially. He's just an avatar, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it is. You have a choice. I just went with the generic, the standard guy here, but like there's other looking agents available if you want to play as them. But I just picked the one that the game prefers. So, and we know that because in Crackdown 3, Terry Crews stars in the game, so we know which one they prefer.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Terry Crews is in this.
Terry Crews is in the third game of this.
Also, sorry, how did this make it to 3 games?
Good fucking question, James. I have no idea. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm 2/3 through this game already, and I'm already fucking bored of it. Like, like the idea with sandbox games is that you kind of have to, provide different gameplay and like try different things out and give a bit of variety and stuff like that. But literally, whatever variety you get at like minute 1 of the game is what you get at the last minute of the game. Like it's no difference.
Don't hate the music in it.
It's very location relevant. So like the radios are different depending on which part of the
one of the districts is Los Muertos, so all Spanish music there.
Yeah, like kind of there's something on those lines, and then just some kind of there's kind of like a power metal and kind of industrial grungy type of stuff going on. Like it's a bit of a mix really, and then like they have like very clearly mechanical music for this area, the kind of way.
Yeah.
I haven't quite trekked out the city yet, which is the location of the final boss, the Shy-Gen, which are definitely not triads. Stop asking questions.
So is this series still ongoing now?
Well, it hasn't. We had a release since 2019. So it's like, it's kind of it's a very Xbox game. Is the thing. Like it's an Xbox exclusive. It's a Xbox franchise. So it kind of gets wheeled out as necessary.
Any new system kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I think this was developed initially for the Xbox itself, but it kind of dragged on a little bit and ended up being for the Xbox 360, which it then became, I think, one of its launch titles, if I'm not mistaken. And then Crackdown 2 was Xbox 360, and then the Crackdown 3 then was an Xbox One exclusive.
Sergei Sovetnik Yuriev runs the Volks ore refinery.
Not to say they're not being creative with the name, but Sovet is literally in the surname of this guy here. It's like if you ask an AI to generate Eastern European surnames.
Yuriev is convinced that the agency is out to get him, and he is correct in that assumption, which explains why he never leaves his tower at the center of the refinery and is guarded like gold.
So basically what's going on there is this is another one of the this is another level that's essentially a puzzle first and then kill enemy second.
Okay.
The wide open space. There's
so far it has very much seemed brute force.
Oh, brute force is the fucking name of the game here. Like, like it is like there are times where it's like trying to say, "Oh, hey, let's be stealthy here," but stealth is not an option. It never is an option.
Oh,
And
you've already located him, and you can see his health bar there.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, he is there. But the trouble is getting to him because, as you can see, he is in basically a tower building to which there are no entrances for you. So you essentially have to smoke him out first. But as you can see, there is quite a lot of people to deal with first.
Okay, and would other options have been taken out? Other henchmen? Would that have helped smoke them out?
Well, there is a bit of interdependency in a sense. So, like you could have taken out, like, if you take out person A to get rid of to make B easier, it's kind of the same as if you swapped it around. If you did B first and then A, like, it's a much of a muchness. So, like, you can see on the screen there, we've taken out 4 out of the 6 of the Volk before we get to, or sorry, I think it's 3 of the 6. I think, before we start taking out the big bad. So we know who the big bad is. We just don't know where he's hiding. So we have to find him first as well, which is a big thing. But to a certain extent, like, I think naturally, if you take out the arms dealer of the group, then they're not going to be as heavily armed as it would be normally. But that's to all members of the group, as opposed to the people kind of hiding the, but like the ones that are in the boss areas are generally not affected. But the gangsters who be on the streets will be probably carrying handguns instead of machine guns, kind of way. Okay. So it's a kind of a minute difference for the actual mini bosses, but certainly for the larger boss with the big boss overall, you definitely feel the difference by whittling down his henchmen.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, it's a very contrite way of actually extending the gameplay, because like if you had all your like levels like boosted up here and you were pretty much like walking it, you could just like beat some of the main bosses straight away. But then the game would go, well, where's the fun in that? Look at this fun level we have in a tankard, and here's another one in an oil distillery. Please play our game.
Where else can we make criminals be?
Yeah, I mean, like, bring your friends. We do co-op too. Maybe both of you can take on the tanker and the distillery at the same time.
This seems fairly jank. Like you're trying to land on the pipe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Like it tries to do platforming at places, and sometimes it fails quite miserably, which is why I tend not to do it. Like it's different as I think there's certain points where you can't really avoid it because you have to jump from like one place to the other and it's inaccessible, But as I said, it's not the platforming wasn't its intended design. It is still a shooter by all intents and imagination.
Just looking it up, this got fantastic reviews at the time.
Well, again, bear in mind, like again, if you're looking for a point of reference, like this would be the same year as Crisis. Like this is the same year as as one of the Half-Life episodes, So for a console sandbox game that's just meant to be a bit of stupid fun, it does tick all the boxes. Especially if you're on an Xbox and that's kind of all you have. Because like I said, the PS3 was only starting to come out at this stage. So like I said, that kind of step up hasn't happened yet, where you're getting your Assassin's Creeds and GTA 3, GTA 4s. That hasn't happened yet.
I was like the same year, and this was same year as BioShock, same year as God of War 2, same year as Portal. Importantly, same year as SingStar Pop. The big rivalry.
That's always the point of reference between the two games, isn't it? And then whenever you do get another SingStar game, this automatically going to be compared with Crackdown because it's very similar gameplay.
Oh yeah.
Very similar concept,
Oh, so the windows aren't even breakable here.
No. So you literally have to smoke them out.